Hey y'all, it is June the 26th, 2020, and extremely late jumping onto this here broadcast. We're not gonna have too much time to go over some stuff, but I figured I'd jump on because when it comes to these live streams, I miss it if I don't. You know what I'm saying? Wanted to see if I could touch base with some of y'all out there, real quick, real briefly. And if that's not the case and stuff, because it's going to be real brief, I just wanted to discuss some stuff with y'all real quick. All right, some of the chaos and the calamity that I've been seeing. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see what Google has to tell us real quick, just to cruise through it right quick. But I gotta say, I have a couple of things in mind already that I just want to touch upon real briefly before we get out of here. But let's see what Google has to tell us. Metro Health Director resigns as COVID-19 cases surge in San Antonio. You can only imagine what that's about. So resigning, that's very irresponsible to do right now. Tekashi 69 says he's his rival's rapper's dad and father of the year. That's pretty awesome. I like that. That's on hip hop lately. We got Donald Trump. He says Trump was asked about a second term. Here is response. I doubt it. Not on CNN. All right. Quiz. Everyone in combination with two emo icons. Which are you? What the hell? Stimulus checks. That's interesting. They keep talking about these stimulus checks. Who qualifies? Who doesn't qualify? What we know so far, no matter what they know so far, I don't qualify. I'm sure of it. I promise you I don't. Gap stock soars following announcement of deal with Kanye West's. Gap stock soars. All right. Okay. Cardi B reacts to Ariana Grande shade rumors. Gosh, dude. Here's one thing that I saw earlier. Let's go ahead and give you a glimpse. San Antonio woman wins the MacGyver Award, which I don't know if that's actually a thing. I would assume it's not. She wins the MacGyver Award for being a dumb idiot and putting a tampon or one of those maxi pads on her face. Yep. Does that make sense? How do you forget your mask when that's what all y'all are so scared about every single day? I don't know how you forget it, and then you slap a Tampax on your face, and now you're a damn hero. You're a MacGyver Award. You get the MacGyver Award. Good for you. In Texas, questions grow about a lesser-known U.S. attorney ousted by Attorney General Barr. Gettysburg, home to America's most hallowed battlefields, reckons with the symbols of Confederacy. It's history, and I'm gonna tear it all down. Fact check as pandemic situation worsens. Pence paints a deceptively rosy picture, says CNN. They're trying to tear down statues. Look, Trump says he signed executive order to protect monuments. That would be for the best, right? That would be for the best. Unfortunately, it's all from CNN today. Kanye West and Gap strike 10-year deal for Yeezy Gap apparel line. It's kind of funny because, I don't know, if you know Kanye West songs, like say from his first album, he talks about Gap in a kind of funny way in which like it seemed like they were being racist towards him. I don't know. He cut a deal and stuff. Let's all cut a deal. We don't have to be racist. All right. And there's Donald Trump, but he's the ultimate racist. All right. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about before we get out of here. Just to put it out there, you got Jenna Marbles blackface, right? Just to go show you, and I looked into it. I gotta take their word for it because I really don't know. There's a YouTube person who's been on YouTube for a long time. She actually used to look pretty. Look, dude, honestly, I thought she used to look pretty. Does not anymore. Does not even try to look pretty for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I don't follow Jenna Marbles really that often anyways. As you can tell from the middle picture, absolutely just gave up on being pretty forever. It seems like, I don't know if it's just the natural evolution of things. You'll notice that some people go from attractive to absolutely not attractive over some time. Now, What she got in trouble for, I guess, was this blackface thing right here. And I saw it earlier, and she was like, "Oh man, she's all crying and stuff and apologizing. I was insensitive. I was insensitive and stuff." Meanwhile, okay, on the left, you did this so-called blackface thing. It doesn't even I never saw it. So as far as the video, I don't know if it makes sense necessarily. Why do you got pink hair and all this and a blackface on? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But the thing is, you always knew you had it on there. In fact, a lot of people have already done it. This here blackface thing. It's so interesting. It's so interesting because when the first people was called out for a blackface or whatever, all y'all shut your mouth and you didn't say nothing. Not anything. In fact, you threw them under the bus. All these other people, like Justin Trudeau, by the way. Nah, you just sat and kept quiet this whole time. And up until today, it took for you to remember that you smeared black paint on your face. How unbelievable is that? No, the thing is, you just got called out for it now. You couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle the pressure, and so you buckled under the pressure is what seems to have happened. Meanwhile, you've already gotten millions of dollars from out of YouTube just from doing your little YouTube silliness. Meanwhile, nobody cared about your blackface to begin with. But now that people do care about it and they're pointing you out and singling you out, it's only a matter of time for any one person. Oh, now you're canceled. Especially if you buckle real easy. Long story short, I've never had the notion to put black paint on my face and do this thing called blackface like everybody else has done. I never even had the notion to do it. You know, I've never been posed with the opportunity to do that sort of thing. And now it just makes me want to have blackface everywhere I go for no reason. Like, honestly, it makes me want to. In fact, I don't know that I want this stuff just to put... Because here's the thing. Everybody's going to get taken down for this here blackface thing, even though all y'all already did it to begin with. Why did y'all all do it at one point in time? I don't know. It's kind of disgusting, to be honest with you. But now I might take it over. I don't know if I will. Maybe I will or maybe I won't. But Jenna Marbles is so-called canceled. Meanwhile, she'll come back whenever she wants to. And she'll be deemed as a hero for this video that just came out recently. And I find it all disgusting. Very disgusting. Alright? But as we mentioned earlier, what might be a little bit more important to talk about before we get up out of here. And before I run out of all battery and stuff, man, on my phone. San Antonio, I'll put COVID. Alright. We'll talk a little bit about that. I just gotta let you know, the phone battery running out and stuff, man. I've been having all sort of conversations. That's why my battery ran out. I've been having plenty of conversations behind the scenes. And it's a damn shame, man, because there's all sort of quality material to put out for y'all out there and stuff. But meanwhile, it all goes under the radar and stuff. And it eats up my phone battery. So that's just to let you know why I'm late, why it's low phone battery, and I'm having all sort of technical difficulties. That's because behind the scenes I've been talking with people here on this phone about this and that. All right, and I'll give you some updates. We'll talk about it at the end of this here broadcast in a few minutes, but it's just to say stuff is popping. Stuff's really popping. All right, at least in my personal life. And I'll let you know how that correlates to what we're looking at right now. Coronavirus update for San Antonio, June 26th. You might as well take San Antonio's name out of it and put any old town that you might live in. Coronavirus update, San Antonio, June 26th. Total COVID-19 cases in Bexar County nearing 9,000. That was actually 4 days ago. 3 days ago, infectious disease expert, what qualifies as significant exposure to COVID-19, says this here expert. I don't have time to listen to it. San Antonio area near 8,900 COVID-19 cases and 1 additional death. All right. Before we go any further, there's been more updates since the past. Well, that's actually 3 hours ago, so I guess that's the latest update. Live San Antonio area news, 8,900 COVID cases, 1 additional death. No matter what, here's the thing. I've been talking to people, and I've been observing people. Some people are literally scared out of their minds. Some people have quit their job even though they haven't had to. scared out of their mind. What that's going to unfortunately do, and I'm not a scientist, it's going to elevate your fear as we've been talking about. It's going to get you sick. And people out here wearing these masks, which have become, quote, mandatory, that's going to make you sick as well. And it's scientifically proven, and it's really not that hard to tell. All right? So that's what we've known about this for a while, and as the scenario keeps playing itself out day to day, it only gets worse and more absurd, and people get more afraid, right? As I mentioned before, the avalanche of people, see, that's the thing, you could be all about freedom, you could be all about liberty, you could be all about America, you could be all about everything good about America. Could be, right? But see, they're gonna break you off and stuff. They're gonna single us out one by one and have this avalanche run all over us of people who are terrified out of their mind. And trust me, I've talked to enough people to know that some people are so terrified and are itching for that vaccine. They can't wait for it. All right, so it is gonna happen. All these things, the fear is going to continue to ramp up. The vaccines are absolutely going to be taken. And guess what? I'm a psychic. Once those vaccines are taken, a lot of people are going to die from it. A lot of people are going to be maimed from them. And guess what? The news ain't going to have time to talk about it at that point. Right? That's guaranteed, actually. You say, oh man, I might be fear mongering like CNN. Not really. It's a guarantee. I know it's going to happen. Right? Because every single sign points towards that. So while we're going all up into this calamity, and like I said, people are so scared that they become paralyzed, and they're actually probably dying from their fear and getting all sick. While that's all happening, and some people seem to believe that the country is like shut down for their own safety and stuff, and they're trying to shut everybody else down, I just got to let you know, I don't know about your area, but like here in San Antonio, or where I'm at, me personally, job opportunities are just flying at my face, like every which way. I'm pretty sure it's pretty almost set in stone that I got a second job already, just because they gave it to me. And so not only that, but I'm in talks with people about a third job, which honestly I do have to sleep. If something get cut in my sleep, then something's gonna get cut off. But at the same time, like I said, all these opportunities coming at me. The reason has a lot to do with the desperation, I guess. I don't know. Are people trying to get hired? They need to be getting hired. Are they so scared that they're hiding in their houses right now? Perhaps a lot of them are. But I got all these opportunities coming at me right now. That is to say that we're in a time of great disaster and a time of great opportunity. And if you look around, I think if you look around hard enough, you'll find that there are opportunities out there. But at the same time, you're going to be surrounded by people who are unfortunately terrified. And it's kind of nuts, all right? But to get out of here, I want to discuss some important things. I alluded to it earlier and a couple times before, and in that, if this pandemic, if it was so serious and it was about a serious deadly disease, I have to stress that for all the people who run around in masks and who demand everybody else to wear a mask, and for all those people who are just itching and scratching to be the first one to get pumped with an illegal potion, not an illegal potion, but a mystery potion, and then they want you to be pumped with it as well because their vaccine doesn't work unless you take it. For all those people out there, of course they're blind and they're in love with lies for some reason. But here's the thing. All the efforts that you're doing are absolutely half-assed. Not even close. Not even close. Because like I mentioned perhaps before, let's bring his face up here too. I mentioned this about a Judge Nelson Wolff. You never heard of him and stuff before. A lot of people in San Antonio never heard of him. But he's a fat cat in San Antonio. Like, he really calls shots. Like, he will shut down your business and everybody's business if he wants to. Alright? That's a Judge Nelson Wolff. And he does it with the collusion of our so-called mayor. Mayor Nirenberg. Right? This guy, just on the appearance of things, don't judge a book by its cover, but he looks like a goblin. Right? And I dare you to debate me on this. What does a goblin look like if it doesn't look like this guy? All right, but that's Judge Nelson Wolff. All right, recently, and I don't know if they have a picture of it, but they should. What if I type in Lowe's? If I type in Lowe's, it'll bring up a picture. I know you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a good point of reference. All right, Judge Nelson Wolff, and there's a video of it. Like, here's a picture of it. There's a video out of it that you could check out on YouTube if you wanted to. Judge Nelson Wolff, and he's wearing his effeminate, disgusting goblin mask, just like he does on TV and stuff. Sometimes he wears it, sometimes he just wears it around his neck like a damn... I'm not going to say what it is, but alright, so he goes to Lowe's. He harasses this guy. He tries to give him a business card. Why? Because he's not wearing a mask at Lowe's. The guy... all credit due to this guy. I think his name is Terry Toller or something like that, because they did find out his name. They tracked him down and everything. He smacks the business card out of Judge Nelson Wolff's hands. Did he know who Judge Nelson Wolff was or not? Doesn't matter. If he did know who it was, I'm more proud of him, to be honest. Alright, but it was some old guy trying to accost him, trying to hand him a business card saying God knows what under his mask. He slaps away the business card. Then San Antonio Police Department, by way of Mr. Salazar, Sheriff Salazar, they then threatened to find the guy from the Lowe's video and arrest him. Why? On felony assault charges to a public servant. I mean, that's one of about a billion examples happening right now today in which this guy wants to be the ruler of San Antonio. He wants to tell you what to do and when to do, right? And if you don't do it, he's going to hand you a business card like some sort of snob. You slap it out of his hand, and he's going to go cry to the police. Right? That's exactly what this is. That's the spirit of all these people who want to run everybody else's life. Now, that being said, there are people out there who want to run everybody else's life, and they want to demand everybody else to wear a mask around them. All right. If this was a deadly disease, like I said, let's just be very simple. If it was, your ass wouldn't be at Lowe's. Oh, like Lowe's is a life and death situation. You got to go to Lowe's in order to, what, save your life? You didn't even have nothing in your hands. You're at Lowe's for what reason? If this was a deadly disease, which obviously it's not, but you want to pretend it is, those people out there, and you want to take your ass to the store, that's so unbelievably irresponsible that I can't even believe it. That's beyond. You're beyond. Alright? Why would you go to the store if there's a deadly disease out? Alright? Why don't you rough it and stay at your house? Because there's a deadly disease floating around. You get it? Your mask is so half-assed that it's unbelievable. Especially when you touch it and it's just like a dirty rag over your face all day. And so meanwhile, they're going to keep amping it up, just as they've been alluding to, just as they've been kind of like projecting. They're going to keep amping it up. And people are going to be more and more inclined to put on a mask. Meanwhile, it never made sense from day one. And not only is it inefficient, it's quite honestly irresponsible. It's quite honestly irresponsible. Right? Because if you're so sick, that's the only reason to wear a mask, and this is from the people who wear masks, is to not make other people sick. That means there's a potential possibility that you're sick and you might make others sick. If there's a potential possibility, why don't you stay your ass at home? You're irresponsible. You're the one out to kill people. Why? Because you want to go to the store for your trinkets. I can't even stress how unbelievably irresponsible and half-assed it is. I feel like I'm not driving the point home hard enough. But that's people's mindsets. And it's only going to continue. That's to say this on a personal note. I want to get up out of here, right? I thank anybody for coming out of the recording. Like I said a long time ago, I plan to put you out better quality content in the near future. We're going to see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm going to be making some of that money, just about as hard as I can, right? At the same time, I know full well money means nothing. Alright, although I'm going to see, the money means nothing necessarily. If I can get out and make myself productive as much as I can, that's what I'm going to do. It is going to cost money because I need bills to be paid. Alright, period. So if I'm going to go out there, it's going to cost you money. But at the same time, it's not all about money. And if someone wants to play me like a damn fool, if that's what they're trying to do, then it's all. I can't just sell out the future generations. All right, I'm not gonna do it just because you want me to be afraid. All right. Hopefully I'll get to the point where I have so many jobs that I'll quit any one of the jobs at just any point I want to. Don't give me any guff. At the same time, at the very same time, I know full well the world in and of itself, to include local San Antonio, is going off the rails. And I don't mean rhetorically, like in the sense of, oh, we can bring it back. It ain't coming back, dude. The mayor himself, his goon, his goblin right here, insist on it going off the rails. You might ask yourself why. Trust me, it's a lot of money going in their pockets because of it. It's not hard to figure out. They're selling you out. They're getting money in their pockets. They don't give a damn about you. They look like some goblins and ghouls. Okay? So all while that's going on, it's going to seek destruction. And at a certain point, it is going to put me out as well, no matter how hard I work. So that's why I want to work hard right now, just because I want to say, hey, I was working my absolute hardest when they came down on me and they made sure that I could not make a living. All right, there's not one grown man out in this country with physical capabilities who should not be able to make a living. All right, who should not be able to pay bills. That shouldn't even be happening and stuff. So they're gonna have to shut me down. Is what I'm saying. They're going to have to shut me down. Oh, I'm not going to be quiet or shut the hell up either. And that shut me down. And certainly they will. Certainly they will. All right. So in the meantime, also I want to say, it's interesting. I want to get up out of here. But one interesting note that I seen, statue. I don't know what keywords to put in. Actually, I got it on screenshot somewhere. So let me see if I can just roll through the screenshots real quick and show you. And you probably already seen some stuff out there like this. I gotta say, it's one thing. We're gonna leave off on this note, all right? As we're in a world of total calamity, we're gonna leave off on this note. A lot of people want to provide for their children. And a lot of people will bend over backwards and do whatever for their children. In fact, they'll put their children in danger if they think in their mind that's the best thing for their children. And trust me, it's not. To put your child in danger is not good. But they'll do it because if they think that it's the best thing for their children, which, like for example, they'll bend over to tyranny and do whatever the tyranny asks them to do, even if there's no laws behind it, because they don't want to. Because they're children, they want to be able to provide for their children. All right. Well, so that's kind of interesting. But what I want to point out is, financial doesn't matter. At the end of the day, even food doesn't matter. It's disgusting what these people are trying to make us do to our children. But the thing is, none of it matters. Okay, ultimately, you can't worry about your children. Like, in a sense, you could take care of your children and do the best that you can for your children. But your children are on a road to wherever it is they're going. And there's nothing that you can do to stop that necessarily. You can set a good example. That's the only thing you could do. But technically, if you're setting a good example, it's not only for your child, it's for everybody else around. All right, the reason I bring it up is because there's something very disturbing that I saw earlier. Most of this stuff is disturbing. Look, Black activist Wonder is protesting just trendy for white people. Now it's a whole white... Oh, God, dude. Now you can't protest if you're white. Oh, God. And you have to wear a mask only if you're white. Says certain laws. It's like... I don't know how you can even compare it to logic and reason. All right, Texas realtors will stop using master to describe bedrooms. Oh my gosh, people literally gone just total insane nutballs. Insane nutballs. You can no longer use master locks, by the way, either, because that's racist and you hate black people. These things are all kind of interesting, but I wanted to show you something. Look, San Antonio among worst cities in the country to live alone. Oh man, I might as well just quit my life, huh? Um, all these different things. Texas family, they got a surprise party and infected everybody. New York Post wants you to know everybody's getting infected. Oh God, in Texas. I don't know where I can find a screenshot, and hopefully I took it. There's a lot of things to look up. I don't think I took the screenshot. Oh, okay, yes I did. Oh, thank God. Look at this ugly. Oh God. Everything I say is bullying, but that lady's atrocious. Her face is atrocious. She looks like a transgender, and I'm sorry to say, but she might be a transgender. And I know this is all bullying and hateful, but look, Sir Edmund Barton, person who I don't know from Adam. I don't know who he is. Sir Edmund Barton's statue should be torn down, says his great-granddaughter. And as you can imagine, it might be because he had owned slaves. It might be because he had some sort of opinion that was unpopular. All right? I mean, I don't know Sir Edmund Barton, but let's assume that he was a prominent enough person to have a statue made of him. Let's assume that. All right? Whatever that means. They actually made a statue of this guy, meaning you were significant. You were significant enough well after the fact that they made a statue about you. That's how significant you are. Some people would die to be so significant. Some people would love to leave a legacy like that to where it's like they're making statues of you after you're dead. And your own great-granddaughter, allegedly, now I don't know if it's true, but it's from Daily Mail, allegedly your own great-granddaughter, who looks like your great-grandson in drag, to be honest, that person is advocating for your statue to be torn down. I don't know if that's true. I'm sorry about what I said about this person's looks. But if it is true, how dastardly could you be to turn on your own ancestors? Oh, because they made the wrong move one time. Oh, because they might have done something you disagree with. You're not on a statue, and they'll never make a statue of you. Right? Even if they did make a statue of you for no reason, they'd wind up tearing it down later. Why? Because you got white skin, you loser. That's how much of a loser you are. You want to tear down your own ancestors because of it. That is to say, man, you can set a great example and stuff like that. Or you can fight all day long for your children and make sure that they live in a total world of enslavement. You can make sure that they can live and breathe and eat while they're also a slave for the rest of their life by setting a bad example. Right? There's nothing you could do for your children, unfortunately. And some people, that's the only thing that they think about. No, what I'm going to do for my child, and I do have one, and I know a lot of people say, oh, you don't care about your child. I care enough about my child to set an example of a free person who will actually go to work every single day and does not bow down and cower down to some threats by the mass media. Oh, I'm going to get some disease. Right? I'm going to set that example whether it kills me or not. Right? So no matter what my daughter or my progeny might go on and do forth in the future, I set an example of a man who's not going to be intimidated. Right? Who's not going to just cower down and be some sort of hermit up in the house. Oh, I'm not going to do this. Oh, I'm not going to say this. Oh, if I say this or do this, my whole legacy, my this and that, I'll put my children in danger. It's so absurd and preposterous. You got to do what's right. Here's the thing. I can't suggest for you whatever it is that you're going to do, but I'm here to tell you, regardless, and they're going to throw everything at me, just like they've thrown everything at Donald Trump, just like they've thrown everything at Alex Jones, and they won't stop. I'm going to guarantee for you, I'm going to set that example if it kills me or not. Right? You can come kill me. And in fact, those same very people who want to slap a mask on my face permanently, they could come down and say, hey, and that's always the thing about it. What if your daughter's life was on the line? What if they threatened to shoot your daughter and stuff, and in case you didn't, and stuff like that? That's like the hypothetical question. Then shoot her and shoot me both at the same time. You damn loser coward. You damn terrorist. You disgusting ISIS terrorist. Oh, you want to threaten my daughter? You know what I'm saying? You want to threaten people's children's lives. You want to say, oh, you're not thinking about your children. What about this disease? Oh, I'm thinking about my children because if I have anything to do with it, my children are not going to end up in chains and shackles just the way that your children will. And even if it's not physical chains and shackles, it's going to be in their mind. They're going to be a slave in their mind, and there's no two ways about it. All right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like life. Here's the thing. I'm not suicidal, just like all my people say. I'm not. Oh, you're not going to catch me killing myself, not even in the least. When they say, "Oh, I got child exploitation things on my digital device," it is a total lie. Those disgusting, perverted, coward, liar, losers. All right, those freaking tyrants. That's exactly what they're gonna do. I swear, I want to slap black paint on my face right now and dare you to come and stop me about it. It's not gonna happen. I'm tired of all the lies. All right, and although I got kind of worked up, there ain't no fear in me right now. No, I'm not anxious and full of anxiety. No, I'm not. And all those fears and anxieties, it is going to give people cancer. And guess what? You can't even get elective surgery or anything to deal with your cancer now. Just go ahead and lay down and die. The government told you to do so. All right. I'm not getting worked up about it. But at the same time, I know what we're looking at. We're on the final stretch. Point blank period. If you have any sort of energy that you want to put in your own little way, all right, trust me, the ways that I've put in my energy is not so significant as a lot of other people, all right, but whatever way that you want to do, if you have energy right now to do it, there you don't have no more time to do it. There's not going to be another time, unfortunately. All right. Anyways, that's about enough for me right now. I want to get the hell up out of here, and I got some stuff to do. I see this person up in the building. Like I said, man, if you don't take anything else away, look at this person. Your whole progeny will sell you out and become disgusting. Like, look at this. This is what your progeny will. If you want to be a cow, let's end up on this note. Honestly, if you want to be a coward and everything, which I know the person up in the building doesn't. I know that whoever's watching, I'm not talking to you, but I'm saying, if you want to be a coward and a loser, well, you're going to guarantee that your progeny looks like this, right? This guy, Sir Edmund Barton, I don't know him from Adam. I can't say he did anything wrong. I really don't know. But this is what happens when you're a damn coward and a loser. That's guaranteed. I don't know that this guy was. I'm just saying it's guaranteed. If you even dare to have children, this is what your children are going to end up looking like. And it's scientifically disgusting, all right, to be honest with you. And anyway, that's about it for right now. I'll holler at y'all later with a crap ton of updates, to be honest with you. All sort of updates. I can't even touch upon right now, to be honest. But I'll holler at y'all over this weekend about it. And I look forward to hearing from y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. It's June the 26th, 2020.